You're on to CoreTV News at 4. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. The Nigerian army says its troops have arrested some members of Boko Haram on Friday, disguised as internally displaced persons. Army spokesman Colonel Soni Usman said in a statement that the intercepted persons are being screened by troops of the 21 Brigade for more information and confirmation of their true identity. He noted that troops have also dislodged Boko Haram terrorists from Disa and Balazala villages, both located in the Goza local government area. The army spokesman added that 23 men, 33 women and 34 children were rescued in the process. Meanwhile, Kano State Governor Abdullahi Gandoje is concerned over the ongoing negotiations by government officials with the Boko Haram sect. Gandoje, who made his worries known to State House correspondents in Abuja, said he wonders if the government is in touch with the actual leadership of the insurgent group. He, however, urged Nigerians to engage in community policing before, during and after the Eid al-Kabir celebrations, to ensure that criminal elements do not carry out attacks on soft targets. The Code of Conduct Tribunal has ordered the Inspector General of Police, Solomon Arase, to arrest the Senate President, Bukola Saraki, for failing to appear for his arraignment. The Tribunal Chairman, Dahiru Umar, issued the order on the basis of an application filed by Prosecution Counsel Muslim Hassan. Umar held that Saraki was duly notified to appear before the tribunal, and as a public servant, he should have obeyed the summons. Judicial correspondent Basi Ukafo has details in this report.
Massive security around the premises of the tribunal. This suggests that the Senate President was either in the court or was on his way for his arraignment. But neither was the case, as the Senate President failed to appear to face charges filed against him. This angered the prosecution counsel, Muslim Hassan, and he sought a bench warrant for the arrest of the Senate President. Defense counsel Mahamoud Magaji, however, objected, arguing that the prosecution counsel lacked the power to institute the case in the first place.
We only apply that a bench warrant be issued against the accusers for disobedience of the order of this honorable court. The application before you should be expunged from the record, inclusive the appearance.
After argument from both sides, the tribunal adjourned for some hours till 1:30 p.m. And after reconvening, Tribunal Chairman Danladi Umar ordered the Inspector General of Police, Solomon Arase, to arrest Saraki. He thereafter adjourned till September 21 for the Senate President to appear and face his charges. The response of the legal team of Saraki after the ruling indicated that the Senate President will appeal the decision of the tribunal.
I've only told him there is an order of the court binding him. And if that order has been served on him, the least he can do is to go and set aside the order with the reasons he gave, not to ride roughshod over the order. He will respond accordingly. There are processes for people who are in contempt of orders.
For now, the federal government is keen on ensuring that the Senate President is docked on Monday. But that is also when a federal high court is due to hear Saraki's suit against the Code of Conduct Bureau.
Meanwhile, Senate President Bukola Saraki has accused the Code of Conduct Bureau of acting under undue political influence and external pressure by ignoring a court order. In a statement signed on his behalf by Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Yusuf Olaniyan, Mr. Saraki explained that he chose to proceed to the courts to determine the competence of the prosecutor because he felt his fundamental rights are infringed on. The Senate President noted that he chose to go about his normal official schedule based on the court order that all parties in the case should appear before it on Monday, September 21. Adding their voices also to that of hundreds of Nigerians reacting to the controversial declaration of assets by Senate President, these individuals seem to differ on their positions, or whilst calling on all persons involved to act according to the rule of law.
A public figure is a public thing. Everybody wants to know everything about you to a larger extent. So for effective corruption campaign, it is one of the requirements.
as a public officer, I believe he should be able to come out clean and say, look, this is what I have, and I've been giving you this report on every of my oath taking. So why is it now that you want to indict me? Go and check my records in 23 before being a governor in Kwara State. I've submitted what I needed to submit before I took an oath of office. So, I mean, all the buara about witch hunting, I don't think so. The code of conduct, they're doing that job. And of course, as a citizen and the Senate President of Nigeria, he have every right to seek redress if you think it's injustice. So, I mean, this is the way I feel about it.
The People's Democratic Party says it will reposition the party for the next elections. Addressing journalists in Abuja, the National Publicity Secretary of the party, Lisa Metu, disclosed the need to have a national conference where issues bordering on how to reshape the party would be discussed. Metu pointed out that lots of corrections need to be made to correct the many mistakes of the past. The proposed conference is organized by some members of the Board of Trustees of the party who are backed by both the board and national caucus of the party. The Lagos High Court in Ikeja, under the judgment of Justice B.A. Chukwu, has upheld the victory of APC senatorial candidate Solomon Adiola Yayi at the 28 March 2015 senatorial election. The ruling, which nullified the election petition filed by the Lagos West PDP senatorial candidate Segun Adewale, says the petition lacked so many requirements and as such cannot stand. Defense counsel Kunle Adegoke stated that the petition against his client should have been discarded long ago as it was baseless and without merit. While the victor, Senator Adiola Olamilekon, says the victory was his party's, the All Progressives Congress, and called for the support of his constituents towards achieving greater development.
No facts were supplied to show the day that the primary election of the party, APC, was held and when the notice ought to have been given. It is simple and elementary that when you are challenging a particular act not to have been done within time, you are supposed to supply the date when the act was done, the date when it was supposed to have been done under the statute. This was not done by the petitioner. Then second was that the evidence purportedly led did not even substantiate this. It was just a legal statement that he stated in his witness statement to the effect that the first respondent, Olamilekon, was not properly nominated, and that was all.
This shows the right step in the right direction and hope for a common man that whatever the situation is, whatever is the issue, that there is hope, and that the Court of Competent Jurisdiction who have upheld these results and who have declared that Adiola Solomon Olamilekon is the senator for Lagos West Senatorial District. I've done this after examining all documents that was before them, and they have taken this position jointly and affirm that yes, he is the winner of the March 28th senatorial election.
Despite the agreement signed by labor unions and state government in Osun on the payment of outstanding salary arrears and deductions owed, the health sector may be looming for a showdown. This is because medical doctors say the MOU signed by the NLC did not capture the issues relating to their unions. The unions have now issued an ultimatum to commence a strike action if government does not recall a negotiation to meet their demands. Rashid has details in this report.
After the resolution reached by the labor leaders and the Osun State government over old salaries, it is expected that all is well. But the leadership of the Osun State Association of Medical and Dental Officers and the resident doctors from Valcke Teaching Hospital Oshogbo seem not to be on the same page with the agreement. They say they were not a part of the negotiation and issues relating to the non-implementation of the federal government circular on adjustment comments, which is the salary scale for doctors, and was not captured in the agreement, and that there is still evidence of arbitrary cut in the doctors' pay.
We are not party to the decision of NSC and cannot be bound by this memorandum of understanding they signed with the government. That the government should pay all our outstanding salaries, union and cooperative deductions, leave bonuses, and remit the backlog of contributing pensions deductions to the relevant pension fund administrator on or before 24 hours of Sunday, 27th of September 2015.
The issue of unpaid salaries and members' welfare has caused both physical and psychological torture to members. The point I just raised is not unconnected with the continuous non-implementation of the federal government circular on adjusted commerce, despite implementation of federal government circular on taxation on the state.
But the spokesperson for the government says all union leaders were represented at the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding.
If they want anything done, they should wait. Thank God the way things are going now. Labor issue will become what each state will have to be handling the way it knows it can do it better. Because the way things are going now, the federal government should hands up and allow each state to negotiate according to their capability.
The lecturers in the state-owned tertiary institutions also say they cannot call off the ongoing 8-month strike until the government accents to its demand.
One of them is the issue of a contributory pension. We are tired of the way it is being administered by the government. And our position on that is that the government could re-engineer by suspending the contributory pension. Let us go back to the old defined pension scheme. We have done our own part by going to them, trying to facilitate the meeting at one time or the other, but the government has not been reciprocating. So we are waiting for the time government will be ready for us for the negotiation.
In the midst of this crisis, the students who are the worst hit appeal for peace.
What is in their mind is that touches the issue of ongoing strike that is affecting the majority entire Nigerian students across the state of Osun, and we are appealing to the state government to have a formidable agreement with the Kawasu, ASUP, and the Kasosty of the state of Osun.
The medical doctors have issued a strike ultimatum to commence on Monday, the 21st of September, and the lecturers have also vowed not to call off the 8-month strike. The most affected person by these actions can only continue to hope and pray that an amicable resolution is reached soon. Rashid, CoreTV News, Oshogbo.
We'll take a break now, and I'll be back with more stories. Don't go away.
Some pundits believe that as long as the political system is driven by selected few, corruption may be difficult to fight.
You should be careful about what you say. I am not the only politician. Even if I've wronged anyone, it is time to forgive me.
Please for Arena every Sunday at 9:15 p.m. and a repeat broadcast every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m.
Welcome back. You can get more on CoreTV News by visiting any of our social media platforms. Follow us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/CoreTV News and on Twitter at CoreTV News NJ. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/CoreTV with a space and news. The Nigerian Association of Patients and Proprietary Medicine Dealer, NAPMED, has accused Pharmaceutical Council of Nigeria of unlawful shop closures in Kwara State. Medicine dealers trooped out in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, to express their grievances. Rashid has more from Ilorin.
The Pharmaceutical Council of Nigeria, the umbrella body overseeing the consumption and distribution of medicinal products in the country, on its recent discovery that most patent medicine store owners are not qualified to operate within their communities, having not registered with PCN, have resulted to closing them down. The president, Nigerian Association of Patent Medicine Sellers, frowned at the development, describing the council's action as biased and sponsored. He also condemned the imposition of registration fee. He is calling on the state government to intervene before the matter goes beyond control.
We are protesting. Our protest is that there are recent raiding, the lockup of over 560 shops of our members. We don't want to take law to our hand. That is why we have come to His Excellency to save us from their victimization.
More so, the Chief of Staff to the Kwara State Governor has promised to settle the matter between the warring parties.
With the Chief of Staff response to our grievances, he talked to us and he asked us to maintain peace. And immediately, he called the officer in charge of the PCN in Ilorin, which he has booked appointment with him. and he said he will discuss and he will send for me later so that the matter will be resolved amicably. That I should talk to my people to remain calm.
While the state government comes in to settle the rift, it is calling for calm and maintenance of law and order. Rashid, CoreTV News, Malaria.
Malaria death rate in Nigeria has reduced by 60% since the year 2000, translating into 6.2 million lives, mainly children, saved. This was disclosed in a joint World Health Organization and the UNICEF report released on Thursday in Lagos. The report pointed out that between the year 2000 and 2015, the under-5 malaria death rate fell by 65% and an estimated 5.9 million children were saved. The report further showed that the malaria MDG target of halting and reversing the incidence of malaria by 2015 has been met convincingly, with new malaria cases dropping by 37% in 15 years. Meanwhile, the challenge of infertility is now being dealt with a non-governmental organization seeking to assist 15 couples in helping them achieve the goal of bearing children. Omotayo has details in this report.
Infertility in developing countries has been described as the leading cause of social frustration and marginalization. At least 1 out of 5 couples are fertility challenged, thus the need for a quick intervention. The 7-year-old foundation, Fertility Treatment Support Foundation, FTSF, with a record of providing free fertility treatment to over 100 couples, is set to give out this opportunity to more couples through its new initiative.
Little Miracles, an initiative of FTSF, will be giving away free fertility screening and treatment to couples on Sunday, 25th October 2015 via an electronic draw. All you have to do is send a text with the title Free IVF, your names and phone number to these numbers 090-811-90600.
Medical partners to FTSF say fertility treatment could pose a financial burden to an average Nigerian couple, which has informed their support to restore hope in their homes that are battling to stay happy.
The biggest thing, I don't believe, is money. The biggest challenge we have is that people are not aware. Awareness is number one. Then the second thing is money. Because some people can afford it, but they don't even know. They go to, I don't want to mention names. They go somewhere.
Speaking on the sideline, fertility expert and counsellor Tola Ajayi says lack of awareness, misinformation and unnecessary burden bearing has left most couples frustrated than they should naturally be. She therefore advised that couples should seek help in the right quarters.
Knowledge is power. So you don't have to wait until you're 10 years in marriage before you seek help, because we know that as you advance in age, your chances is becoming, smaller. So if you get married 1 year, you're not getting pregnant, then seek a doctor. Then that you can know that, as quickly as possible you can do something.
The gathering further encouraged couples to speak out on time so they are better educated and given the needed assistance and help, which is very much around the corner. FTSF further craved the support of the government, corporate bodies and well-meaning individuals to join in the cause of giving families a cause to smile. Omotayo, CoreTV News, Lagos.
The federal government has enjoined truck owners to ensure that the vehicles meet the standards required to operate in the nation's seaport. The federal government disclosed these at a meeting with Nigerian Port Authority and representatives of transport associations in Nigeria. It pointed out that meeting the required standard by truck drivers as obtainable in the developed world is vital to the sustainable development of the nation's seaports. The meeting was convened in the wake of the threat by truck owners to withdraw the services in the nation's seaports following the restriction of the movement of trucks by the Lagos state government. The Chief Whip of the House of Representatives and Chairman African Parliamentary Committee on Millennium Development Goals, Alassane Ado Doguwa, has urged the federal government to give more institutional and financial support for the incoming global agenda of sustainable development goals. In a statement, a media consultant Desmond Otowe disclosed that Doguwa made the remark at the Multi-Stakeholders Forum on the Sustainable Development Goals held on Friday in Abuja. She said the implementation of MDGs in Nigeria is a success and called on Nigerians to support the new dispensation for the country to record a better result in the implementation of SDGs. The Department of Petroleum Resources, the DPR, has redeployed no fewer than 20 of its senior officers nationwide. In a statement published on its website, the agency said the postings and deployment is to reposition the department, enshrine accountability and performance for effective monitoring of the oil and gas sector. It indicated that the postings and redeployment also affected some divisions of the DPR headquarters. The statement further disclosed that the redeployment takes off with immediate effect. We'll take a break now, and I'll be back with stories outside Nigeria. Don't go away.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, our 24-hour news station.
Migrants stranded in Croatia have been making frantic efforts to head north despite moves by Slovenia and Hungary to hold them back. Slovenian police used pepper spray on Friday night to disperse a group trying to cross from Croatia. Hungary accused Croatia of violating international law after asylum seekers were sent over the border without first being registered. The EU, which is divided on the crisis, is to hold emergency talks next week. And Syrian government warplanes have launched one of the heaviest bombardments yet on the city of Palmyra, which is held by Islamic State militants. About 25 airstrikes left at least 26 people dead, including 12 militants, according to the UK-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights. ISIS captured Palmyra, which includes a UNESCO World Heritage Site, in May. Elsewhere, airstrikes on Idlib killed 17 people, according to Syrian Observatory for Human Rights. The city of Idlib is a stronghold of an alliance of jihadist and Islamist groups calling itself the Army of Conquest. Syrian military sources quoted by Reuters have said Syria is using new types of very accurate weapons supplied by its ally, Russia. But while the United States says it's planning now direct talks between Russian and American military officials over Russia's growing involvement in Syria, U.S. Government Secretary of State John Kerry disclosed that President Barack Obama believed military-to-military discussions with Russia is an important step to resolving the worsening Syria crisis. This announcement comes days after the idea was broached by Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov in a phone call with Kerry. 6 Mexican tourists who survived the Delhi air raid on their envoy by Egyptian security forces have returned home. This is just as the government vows to press for answers over how the group was mistaken for armed robbers. The survivors were on Friday lowered on a platform from the presidential plane, with President Enrique Nieto sent to Egypt with the foreign minister to bring them home. Mexico's health minister said one of the survivors, Mercedes Juan Lopez, had a broken femur, but that they were all in a stable condition. To sport now. Super Eagles Victor Vincent Eyama, Mikel Obi, Victor Moses, and Odion Igalo have been called up for next month's international friendlies against Congo DR and Cameroon and Belgium. The quartet missed out of the 2017 AFCON qualifiers against Tanzania and the friendly with Niger Republic earlier in the month. Ogenyo Naze, Elderson Echejele, and Leon Balogun were also got called up, as well as former junior international Shehu Abdullahi and Moses Simon. The 2013 African champions will play DR Congo on October 8 and Cameroon 3 days later in Antwerp in Belgium. FIFA's Secretary General Jerome Valcke has been suspended from his duty until further notice. In a statement, FIFA said it has received a series of allegations involving the Secretary General. Newspaper allegations on Thursday implicated Valcke, aged 54, in a scheme to sell World Cup tickets for above face value. The Frenchman, who has held his role at FIFA since 2007, has however denied allegations, describing it as outrageous. Football's world governing body FIFA has been engulfed by claims of widespread corruption since May, and it has recently set up a task force to tackle corruption, which aims to restore the integrity and reputation of the organization. England will kick off the 8th Rugby World Cup today when they take on Fiji at the Twickenham. England, who's the host, is aiming to repeat the success of 2003 when Johnny Wilkinson's dramatic drop goal saw them become champions for the only time. About 2.3 million of the 2.45 million tickets have been sold for the 48 games. New Zealand are defending champions. Wales are in a competitive pool with England and Australia, while Ireland and Scotland also hope to progress. The 20-team World Cup, which runs until the 31st of October, will take place in stadia across England and at the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff. And that wraps it on the news this hour. Thank you for watching. I am Nifemi Oguntoye.